Hello, everyone. I hope you are doing well. And I'm so excited because my very dear and beyond talented friend, Julie Lancaster, and I, we decided, well, I guess it's time for us to do our very get together and for Julie to share some really valued tips. So thank you very much for being with me today.
You're welcome. You're welcome. This is going to be a fun day, guys. We did this, about a month ago or so, and we've just it's called Tricks of the Trade, and we're going to do a few more. So this is really, I'm sure that the designers know a lot of this stuff already, but you know what? You can always learn from people regardless. So I thought I would come in here and give you guys a few hints, fun things that might make your life a little easier. And for you new sewers, maybe this is something you might want to jot down little notes on. I can tell you that sewing now is very different. Learning to sew now is very different than it was in the old days when I was learning. Fortunately for me, my mother-in-law was a home ec teacher, and she was old school. I mean, old school down to ironing patterns, old school, which is really the best way to learn to sew. I can tell you that. But as you go along, you learn things and you pick up little things and that kind of thing. So this is what I'm going to share with you guys. Just these little hints. It's no big thing. We're going to go over a few things and hopefully it helps. Okay. So we're going to start the day off with how to remove gunk from your sewing machine needle. Now that may seem really trivial to a lot of people because, oh, I know how to do that. You would be surprised how many people do not know how to do that. And it is very simple. Occasionally you have to sew fabrics that have glue in them. Okay. Not everything is woven. Things are glued. And that could be sequins. It can be, it can even be spandex for that matter. So when you are sewing, you get glue gunked on your machine, and then your machine wants to slow down and it doesn't want to hit the threads, and you're screaming and you're pulling your hair out. Well, I always keep on hand this little bottle, and this is pure alcohol. Okay. I spray a little bit on the pad, piece of fabric actually, and I wipe my needle as I go. And it keeps the needle slick. It keeps it going. Okay. Plain and simple. Spray a little alcohol on a pad and wipe your needle off. Okay. So that is something that I'm sure a lot of people know, but maybe a lot of people don't. The next thing we're going to go for is when you do a lot of sewing like I do, you have a lot of little threads hanging. And I can tell you, when you're doing competition, they don't want to see those little threads. And they can be hard to cut off with a regular pair of scissors. Okay. So I have found that embroidery scissors work the best. And the very best ones that I use are they called Curve Ease. They have a little curve to them. I don't know if you can see it, but they have a little curve to them. And it's a little spring in here. Okay. So you can get right to it without damaging your fabric and cut those little strings off. Now I get these from Viking. They can range, I've seen them in other places from $17.99 to $22 or something like that. Now you say $22 for a little pair of snips. It's the best investment you'll make. I can promise you that, especially if you're doing, like I said, competition, and you're sending a dress off and you miss a thread. You're like, oh my gosh. I have one gal, I love her to death. Cindy will go over her dresses like a fine tooth comb. And I told her, go get, I mean, you're not going to hit every single thread. You're going to miss one here or there. She went out and got them, and she just loves them. So now hit the third one. We're doing in section here, session. This is something that I think is really cool. Now, as a designer, obviously I do a lot of bling, crystal, rhinestone, crystal. Crystals, I do not have the time to use the hot iron to put them on. It would take me 3 days to do something I could do in hours. So I use glue. I glue them. That is my preference. But since I use so much glue, I have had a history of having glue everywhere. Okay. So I finally figured something out. I knew there were glue mats. So yes, you can get hot glue and you get the hot glue mats and they protect the table. But those hot glue mats are made of silicone. Okay. And it works as well on any other glue. So what you need to do is go out and you go buy, this is the best way to do it. Don't go to a fancy craft store and buy an expensive tiny little mat that's a silicone mat. Okay. Go online, go to your discount store, whatever. You can find them anywhere. These are silicone placemats. Okay. You get four placemats. Okay. Each placemat is 16 inches long. So if you put them together, that's like a yard and a half almost of length. You don't have to do them, you just do them one at a time. It's laying flat, put them together. If you get glue on this, within a matter of minutes, it peels right off. So you're not getting glue on your table. You're not getting glue, on paper underneath where you got to peel it off, or you're not getting, it's not sticking anything else. It is the best little tool in the world because you don't have to spend a fortune on an expensive, crafty silicone mat. You can go online and you can get placemat, table placemats. Just plug in silicone mat, and you'll be so surprised how many pages come up. And you can buy them inexpensively. And they're the best thing to work with when you're working with glue. Okay. Now, speaking of glue, we're going to talk about something that I use. I use E6000, and I cannot stress enough to ventilate your room. It is smelly. It dries clear. You can. I said this on the last one. You can get it in black and white and clear. I use clear. But where's the best place to get it? Yes, I'm going to plug a company. I'm going to plug Walmart. Well, the reason why is because you can go to a craft store. You can go to a lot of different stores to get this glue. Okay. But it can range you up to $8 a tube for a 2-ounce tube of it. You can go to Walmart. They have it for $2.75. Usually in there's close to their craft area. There's so many departments, but I'm not the only one that knows this because a lot of times you go there and it's gone. Little word of advice: stay in Walmart. Go to the hardware department. They have it there, racks of it. So
Wow.
that is the best place to get the best price on E6000. Okay. And again, please ventilate when you use it. All right. Now this is a fun one. This one I actually just found out about. I don't know why it took me so long. You can't see my room. Obviously, it's covered in trims and rhinestones and fabrics, and it's a regular store here. But I have a walls of rhinestones because I like to look at them as I work. So I know where my mind is going in design and what looks best with what. And on my wall, I have quite a few rhinestones that I haven't used. So in not using them, yes, rhinestones do tarnish. They absolutely, the metal, it's an inexpensive metal, tarnishes. But even more important than that, I have a lot of, and I cannot stress this enough, recycle rhinestones. Take the time, go to yard sales, go to estate sales. You can pop them out quick, or you can get vintage jewelry and use it. You might have to re-glue it, might work it, but it works beautifully. I'm a huge advocate for recycling. So, and along with that, you can also find great fabrics. But the thing with the rhinestones, more than anything, they tarnish. We'll get back to the original subject. They tarnish, they get dirty, whatever. So, how to clean them? You take a bowl, a glass bowl, you fill it up with vinegar, you spray some Dawn detergent in there, stick them in there, let them soak for a while. And when they soak for a while, I'd say a couple hours really, take them out, rinse them off. They look, this yesterday was so dingy and so dark. And look at it today.
Wow.
That's from cleaning with vinegar and Dawn detergent, letting them soak.
Wow.
So you can Google it, but it's just a great way to clean old tarnished rhinestones, old costume jewelry. It works great. I love it. I'm so glad I found it.
Yeah, thank you for sharing, because this
Yeah.
is also helpful for regular
Yeah.
people with their jewelry. And you brought actually really a great point about recycling things.
Yes.
And I think that this is actually, I personally, and I hope, you'll be with me on this. I think this is very important,
Yes, it
and we
is.
need to talk a lot about it, because there's so many beautiful things you could use. And again, I'm not a designer. What do I know about this? But as a human, recycling and 21st century, that's beyond important.
Well, I will tell you, before we go into these others, I when I first started this years ago with Doggy Couture, I was like, how do I get going on this? My husband is a huge yard sale guy, estate sale guy. He deals with vintage toys. And I would go with him every Saturday morning. And it's amazing what you find. Oh my gosh. I came across a lady who was a distributor for a major bridal company. And she had a huge box full of samples of the gowns, full gowns. And all the gowns had a stamp on them, sample. So nobody was going to buy them. She sold me that entire box. It was probably 20 gowns for $25. And I took them all apart, lining, beautiful trim, beaded trim, everything. And that's actually how I started with using recycle. And I still use recycle to
Amazing.
this day. Hit your yard sales. You can buy a pair of jeans for 25 cents. You can use every corner of those jeans to make the most adorable harness. Even the little belt flaps, the loops, and the little tiny pockets that are inside, the penny pockets that are inside of them, split it in half, open it up, use it, you know, let's do something with it. Let's not take it to a minefield. And I mean, that's how I still do it to this day. I still recycle because I'm a firm believer in it.
Wow.
But I mean, who wouldn't? And they're so cute. They're so cute, the little denim outfits. But yeah, I'll buy nice old vintage jewelry, and I'll reuse all that. And that's probably a really good tip, guys. You want to do this, you don't want to do it expensively. You're starting out, you know, and even if you've been in it forever like me, you still want to do it. Okay. I will say I will not buy furs. I will buy faux fur. I have an aversion to fur, obviously. But you'd be surprised what you can find at a yard sale or an estate sale for nickels and dimes that you can do a miracle with, and it's not going to be under the ground rotting our earth. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, the next subject is a fun one. I know that there are probably a lot of designers that know how to do this, but there are also a lot of designers who do not know how to do this. This is called a French seam. How to do a French seam. Now, you guys might have your fancy sergers, and that's great. I have a serger, obviously a nice serger, but I'm not one that wants to jump from my sewing machine to my serger constantly. I guess I'm lazy. I don't know. But I like my seams finished. Okay. So, especially when you're doing like these little short skirts, you have a short seam. This is called a French seam. All right. It is an encased seam. So you do not see the fabric ravel in any way. Now, Vasi's been so kind and has set up these photos so you can see the process. All right. So first of all, what you want to do is you want to put the opposite of sewing. Okay. Generally, when you sew, you put your two right sides together and sew. All right. With a French seam, you start off putting your two wrong sides together and sew. All right. And once you go all the way down, then you take your scissors and you clip it really close to the seam, not too close because you don't want it to unravel, obviously, but you trim off the edges. Then you reverse it and you put your two right sides together and you sew. And then you press it and you open it up, you get this beautiful, clean finish inside. All right. And I cannot express enough. Here comes my old school. Press your seams, people. Always press your seams. It's finished. It's clean. It's pretty. It's professional. Okay. So French seams are something that I do love doing. I'll tell you, from my silly world of knowledge of contests and things like that they run for these outfits and these beautiful gowns and stuff, judges will look inside those dresses, and they better be clean. If they're not clean, you're going to lose points. A French seam, they see that and they go, that person made that extra effort to do that. It'll get you points. So, all right. What are we going to do next here, honey? How to measure your dog. Now, everybody knows how to measure their dog. Yeah, you go around the neck to the tail, around the neck, the chest. But people ask me all the time, I can't get her measurements right. The first thing you ought to ask is, does your dog have hair? Because even if it doesn't have hair, I always tell people to allow 2 fingers underneath the measuring tape. This gives comfort to the dog. You do not want it squeezing the dog's body. It's not going to like it. And, you wouldn't want to wear a tight shirt. So it's better always to put 2 fingers underneath. And the other question is not only that, the length from the neck to the tail. I don't know if it's me or it may be, somebody else's preference, how they want their dog to be dressed. I get that. But I personally like the length to go a little past the tail. Because I'm a person with my designs, I have a motto. It's, I believe in fluff and not flop. So my dresses are very fluffy. There's lots of layers underneath them. And when you have all those layers, it brings them up. It also makes them a little shorter. So try to make sure you measure from your neck, maybe just a little bit past the tail. But I think that when you measure to the neck and the dress goes 2 inches before the tail, it looks like it's too short for the dog. It doesn't fit the dog right. It doesn't look right. So try to get from your neck to a little bit past the tail, because that is allowing for the fluff in the dress. It's also, it just looks better. It looks cute, it looks fluffy. So again, that is a preference for me. You
Julie,
might want something
yeah.
else.
May I share a funny story?
Yes.
Like last year, because that's exactly it. It's perfect. So last year, someone asked me to take the measurement of my boy. So they asked me, go and watch this video, I was very grateful. The video was great. Well, you had to see me and my husband with our doggy, who is a Chihuahua, like on the picture. 2 adults chasing a little poor baby. Little, at least my boy, but most of the little babies sometimes can get feisty.
Yep.
When they don't like. Oh my God. And so our daughter was there, laughing hysterical that mommy and daddy are trying to measure Chico's, measurement. And I'm like, honey, you're better with math and being exact. Artists, I don't like exact stuff. I can't, and it was hilarious how we get to measure it. So I'm sure there were other people like us.
Oh, there are, believe me. I ask people all the time, send me your measurements. And 3 days later, they send me their measurements and they say, we just couldn't get him to stand still. We couldn't do this. We couldn't do that. And I'm like, okay, I get it. Yeah. A little tidbit of information for you guys who want to start dressing your dogs. It's a really good idea to do them when they're young. Start it early. I can tell you, if you don't, I have a couple here that when I put anything on them, they stand perfectly still, like they're frozen, like they're in trouble. They're like, okay, what are you doing? Then I have a couple here, they're like, oh, we're getting dressed because we're going bye-bye. Because I didn't do it with those when they were younger. And dogs work with association. They absolutely do. They know that when they're getting dressed, they're going to go out, something's going to happen. It's fun, it's a loving thing. And but do start them early. It helps. It really does.
Exactly.
That's hilarious. Next time we want a video.
I know. And you know, it was, I mean, it's funny. I'm like, honey, we need to measure. And he's like, Vasi, we don't know. So we tried the chair. We tried him on the table. I mean, it was, I'm like, where is our camera? We probably will hit millions of views. It was really funny. So I understand. And you
It's
know,
so cute.
Chihuahuas.
It's cute. That's cute.
So anyway, I had to share this. So I understand, you know, people. And that's why I love your tip to start earlier. But, you know, like when, you know, I met Chiku, he was 6 years old. I mean, now he's 15 and a half. So
Wow, that's awesome.
yeah, it's so he's a senior, but you know, I didn't have this opportunity of teaching him how
Yeah.
to dress. So that's why if people ask me the question why my boy does not dress, it's because he never was, you know, taught to be dressed.
Right.
Even if he was before me, you know, he had a little here and there sweaters, but it's funny, just very rare.
That's so cute. Yeah, do start them early though. It helps. It really does.
Exactly.
I think we're going to close this one as far as tricks of the trade. Now, this is not a trick. It's a suggestion. Okay, it's a huge suggestion. Everybody has a bad day. You can't live life without a bad day. Bad days are not days to sit down and sew. Okay, I will tell you, your machine knows your mood. Because I can promise you that you sit down and you're having a rough day, you're feeling stressed, you're feeling anxious or whatever, and you start sewing, your machine's going to start jamming. It's going to jam. You're going to break needles. You're just going to be pulling your hair out. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to take a break. Just walk away, have a cup of tea, put it aside, watch a good show on TV, and then tomorrow is another day. Know that your machine knows your mood. Now that sounds wild, but it does, because it's you. It's you, you're stressed, you're forcing, you're pushing, you're in a hurry, you're got a headache, whatever, you know, it's best just take a break. There you got it. Tricks for the trade.
I love it. No, it's great. And I do agree with you because for me it happens the same. Like sometimes I need to leave my computer. I cannot edit more pictures or create classes. It's just, I even, you know, tell my students when they do pictures in pet pics, just let it be. Let it be, give it a break, even a couple of minutes, go back, and then you're going to see things you didn't see before. So, you know, implement them. So
it really just back off. It's okay. You can do it. You can do it. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very, very much. Congratulations on your wonderful week, Fashion Week. Seen so many wonderful people and so many great designs. And, you know, God love you guys. You're doing a bang up job, Vasi, and but you're so supportive of all us designers. I cannot express to you enough how much I appreciate this week and you in general, but it's so good to see so many great designers and new ones coming on. I love that. But I'm going to end it with one thing. It is vital to me that as a designer, you do something for the community of the animals. Okay? Please consider donating whatever. I do an auction every month. Every month I do an auction. I try to do my part, and it's important that you do yours. And I'll end you with that.
Yes, exactly. I do agree, and I admire you. And this is why I want to tell people. So this month, your auction, it's starting on February 27 to March 6th. And I know that, you know, you have also you like every month, friends, Julie, it's raising a lot of money for rescue. You know, you typically create like bandanas or different items, and 100% of the
well, I'm very lucky this month. I'm so thrilled. My friend Lynn is coming on. Lynn is donating. She's making these adorable little denim outfits, and they have these rock and roll themes. And she is donating 100% of the proceeds. I think she's going to have 4 of them to the rescue this month. And there will be about 30 plus bandanas They start at $7 a piece. And they go much higher, which is great. And then it was really funny. I went to this lady's house this week. She lives way out in the country, and I can tell you it was hard for me because I'm a city girl. But I drove over an hour out to see her way out in the country, and she deals with a lot of fabrics and vintage, extremely knowledgeable woman. But one of her friends had given her these 3 little crocheted sweaters for dogs, and they're adorable. They've never been worn. They're brand new. And she said, you could have them. I'm like, thank you. So I'm going to, spruce them up a little bit. And again, that will also go with the rescue. So, just do whatever you can do. I mean, if it's minor, it's fine. Just do whatever you can do. Again, we wouldn't have our jobs without the dogs. So, but yeah, please join me. It starts Sunday at around 8 o'clock in the evening. It runs until the following Sunday. It ends at midnight Eastern time. There'll be tons of beautiful pieces. And it is the best deal you're going to get in the house. I can tell you that. And it gives me, I do these auctions for many reasons. One of them, obviously, number one is my rescue. That's important to me. I feel like that's like a calling. Number two, it introduces me as a designer, and you can see my designs. It's also a thank you to the people who custom order from me all the time. They're going to get a good deal. It gives me this sense of freedom to be able to create. When you're designing all the time and you're designing for one person, they want specifics and stuff like that. A lot of times I have to tell people to back off. I'm the designer. You're not. Let me do my thing. They appreciate that, but I also have to take in consideration their thoughts and what they like and their color and what they have in mind. I pick their ear a lot, so I want them to give me this feedback, and then I can work from there. But with the auctions, it's my thing. I do whatever I want, and it is so much fun. So it helps me create. But I believe I'm making a difference. I hope I am.
No, you do.
So please join me. It's going to be a fun week, and it's every month. Unless it's announced otherwise, it's every month. And each month it is a different rescue, because it's important to spread the love. There's so many wonderful rescues out there. So.
Yeah. And I just want to say, first of all, Lynn, she even texted me. She said, Vasi, I want to support my amazing friend, Julie.
Love you, Lynn.
Yes. Also, we have Leslie. She said that she's also, some of so Leslie said, hi to lovely, informative ladies. Yes, give back. Give back. And also Diana is saying, I can't wait to go. And then also Leslie said that the outfits, Lynn's outfits, they are super cute, rock and roll outfits. And so it's really amazing. Thank you so much, friends, for your support. We currently actually having a lot of people watching live. Then I know a lot of people will be watching the replay. We are also going to add the replay. And I'm actually, by the way, decided we are going to do this as a podcast. I will also post it as a podcast. And it's just amazing. And I also want, actually, before we are done for today, I want to thank you for participating in Pet Pigs Pup Fashion Week. It was a lot of pleasure, a lot of fun. In a wonderful way, I was so overwhelmed by people's messages. Thank you, Vasi. We love Julie. We admire her. Her work is so beautiful. She gives back to the community. And also thank you, because you are so generous. You gave $100,
which can be used towards the auction.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I want to thank you, and thank you for everyone who kept posting and sign up to live, to join live in Zoom to participate. Those were the 2 ways for the contest, and thank you, because that's a lot. I mean, on the auction, people can get very inexpensive, incredible outfits, and imagine with this $100 gift card.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Amazing. Okay. Amazing. So
thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And maybe we can do this again someday.
Oh no, we are going to do it. Listen, while you were talking, I mean, you know me, but here half of the staff are with ideas. So
Oh,
you and
great.
I will be talking. So don't worry. You know, as everyone likes to joke, you know, what's new, Vasi and you, Julie, I will talk to you. I have an idea about it. Don't worry.
Yay.
I love you, my friend.
Love
Thank
you
you so
too.
much. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
friends, for watching. And I really enjoyed it. And thank you. I hope you learned some good things. Bye, everyone.